The boxing world was left in shock when Jake Paul abruptly cancelled his highly anticipated fight against boxing legend Mike Tyson. The announcement came just days after a viral video emerged, sending ripples through the combat sports community. The footage, initially presumed to be a controlled sparring session, quickly escalated into a brutal, one-sided display. Despite Tyson being nearly twice Paul's age, the former heavyweight champion unleashed a relentless barrage of punches, leaving Paul visibly overwhelmed and defenseless. The video ended with Paul slumped against the ropes, his face contorted in pain and humiliation. The unsettling footage ignited immediate speculation: was this an elaborate publicity stunt to generate buzz for the fight, or a raw demonstration of Tyson's enduring power that caught the YouTube star off guard? Jake Paul wasted no time addressing the controversy. In a fiery social media post, he condemned Tyson's actions, stating, "What you saw in that video was not a sparring session, it was an assault. Mike Tyson clearly never intended this to be a training exercise. He came in with one goal: to hurt me as badly as he could." Paul's words were laden with frustration and disbelief. "I've dedicated myself to this sport," he continued. "I've trained relentlessly, pushing myself to the limit. But after what happened, I can't, in good conscience, step into the ring with someone who so blatantly disregards the safety of their opponent." The decision to cancel the fight sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Fans, who had eagerly anticipated the showdown, were left disappointed. Critics, many of whom already questioned Paul's legitimacy as a boxer, were quick to mock him, labeling the withdrawal as a sign of inexperience or a lack of resilience. However, there was also significant support for Paul's decision. Many applauded him for prioritizing his safety over the spectacle, acknowledging the dangers of stepping into the ring with a powerhouse like Tyson under such contentious circumstances. This dramatic turn of events has left fans divided, with questions lingering about whether the cancelled fight will mark the end of Paul's boxing ambitions or simply serve as a lesson in the unpredictable nature of the sport. Health and safety took precedence over the massive financial rewards the fight could have delivered when Jake Paul made the shocking decision to cancel his bout with boxing legend Mike Tyson. The incident reignited broader debates about the ethics of exhibition matches, particularly those involving older fighters who may no longer be in peak physical condition. The sparring session, captured in a now viral video, raised uncomfortable questions about Tyson's intentions. Was he genuinely trying to train Paul, or did he cross a line in his eagerness to send a message to his younger opponent? The fallout from the video cast a long shadow over the entire event, placing both Tyson and Paul under intense scrutiny. Despite cancelling the fight, Paul left the door open for a potential rematch, though he emphasized the need for strict safety protocols. "If this fight is to happen, we need to ensure the safety of everyone involved," Paul stated. While fans debated whether the Tyson-Paul saga would continue, the damage had already been done. The footage had shaken Paul's confidence, bruised his ego, and raised unsettling questions about the legitimacy of the matchup itself. Adding to the complexity of the situation, Paul's legal team filed a staggering $200 million lawsuit against Tyson. The lawsuit accused the former champion of assault, alleging his actions during the sparring session were premeditated and intended to cause serious harm. It cited the video as evidence, along with witness testimonies that painted Tyson's conduct as malicious rather than accidental. Unwilling to accept what he perceived as outright brutality, Paul sought both financial compensation and public vindication. The dispute, shifting from the boxing ring to the courtroom, brought new layers of uncertainty to the saga, elevating both the legal and personal stakes. Facing mounting criticism and the weight of the lawsuit, Tyson finally broke his silence in a social media post. In a fiery video statement, former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson addressed the growing controversy surrounding his sparring session with Jake Paul. Visibly agitated, Tyson spoke with a mix of frustration and defiance. "First of all, Tyson began, his voice thick with anger. "Let's get this straight, this wasn't some ballet class. This was boxing training, and you've got to respect the damn sport." Tyson quickly shifted to recount his version of events. "This kid, Jake Paul," he scoffed. "He waltzes into the gym full of himself, talking smack, disrespecting the legends. He thinks boxing is some kind of YouTube prank. Well, guess what, it's not." The former champion explained that Paul's behavior in the gym had pushed him to his limits. "He was making light of everything, mimicking my moves, calling me names. I told him to cut it out. I showed restraint, but he kept pushing it." According to Tyson, the sparring session escalated when Paul began throwing wild, unrefined punches, disregarding proper technique. "That's when I had to show him what happens when you mess around in the ring," Tyson said. The video then cut to a montage of Tyson's most iconic knockouts, fast, powerful punches and devastating combinations, reinforcing his point. Tyson concluded his statement with a stern warning: "Maybe that little taste will knock some sense into him. Boxing isn't a game. It's about discipline, respect, and the will to win. If you don't have those, stay out of the ring." Tyson's response drew mixed reactions. Many fans supported him, applauding his firm stance against what they saw as Paul's disrespectful attitude. Others, however, viewed it as an excuse for unnecessary violence, pointing to the lawsuit accusing Tyson of assault as evidence that he had crossed a line. Despite the backlash, Tyson remained unapologetic, positioning himself as a defender of boxing's old-school values. Whether his response would calm the controversy or fan its flames remained uncertain. Meanwhile, Paul's camp responded with a scathing rebuttal, challenging Tyson's narrative and reigniting the debate over the ethics and dynamics of their disputed sparring session. Jake Paul took to social media to escalate his feud with Mike Tyson, delivering a fiery video response filled with outrage, sarcasm, and bold accusations. Smirking at the camera, Paul wasted no time addressing Tyson's claims. "Mike Tyson says I was disrespecting the sport, give me a break. The only disrespect I saw was him disregarding basic human decency," Paul began. He proceeded to dismantle Tyson's narrative, rejecting the idea that he had been clowning around during their sparring session. "I was there to train, not to put on a comedy show. And as for mimicking his moves, maybe if he remembered proper form himself, he wouldn't have gotten so triggered," Paul quipped, his sarcasm clearly aimed at provoking the former champion. But Paul soon ventured into more controversial territory. His tone shifted as he made a pointed remark: "It's clear the man isn't well. He's stuck in some glory day fantasy. And let us not forget the countless signs of brain damage." This comment sparked immediate backlash. While Paul had previously garnered some sympathy for standing up to Tyson's alleged brutality, this jab felt deeply personal and disrespectful to many. The remark reignited debates about the ethics of exploiting someone's health issues for personal gain, with critics accusing Paul of crossing a line. Undeterred by the backlash, Paul pressed on. "He wants to talk about respect," Paul asked. "Where was the respect when he launched into a full-blown assault on me? That wasn't a lesson, it was an attack." Paul concluded the video by reaffirming his commitment to the $200 million lawsuit against Tyson. "This isn't about Mike Tyson being a legend. It's about sending a message: violence has no place in boxing." The bold, calculated response showcased Paul's determination to control the narrative, but it also risked alienating fans who found his comments distasteful. Whether this move would solidify his position as the wronged party or ultimately backfire remained to be seen.